we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the TVD Tavern in our Am I the Asshole series. I am a co-host, the Wandering Ambu. I am joined by the ever beautiful, wonderful, amazing Poppy Silverblaze over here. And we are continuing our series of Am I the Asshole stories, where we read some stories and then we try to dive in and give you insight onto how we think. AKA, are we going to get canceled or not? I'm totally kidding. So, we've got four stories.
Just when I think that just by doing the regular podcast, we're in danger of canceling ourselves, we're like, what would be cool? Let's do some Am I the Asshole episodes that increases the possibility of us getting canceled. When we do that on, but that sounds like a smart idea. Like, yeah, Silver, let's do that.
Interpose like a screenshot where it just like freezes and then canceled right here. So in how we did it last time, I think we've kind of figured out a format. We got four stories that our partners have given us, and then we read these four stories, and then we read a story, we dive into it, and then we go on to the next one. So here we go with number one. Would I be the asshole if I don't give my late BF's house to his parents? Now, I think that it should be fair to say there are some trigger warnings, homophobia and manipulation. So just be prepared. If you do not want to hear that, I would say turn away for a little bit. So, the original post was on August 10th of 2024. My boyfriend, 30 male, RIP, and I, 33 male, were together for 15 years. I was a senior in high school, and we stayed together until a few months ago when he passed away due to bone cancer. Damn. Okay. Thanks. Well, that's an opener. I live in a traditional country where same-sex marriage is not legal, but is not a big issue socially. His parents kicked him out when he came out as gay at 17. My family took him in, helped him to finish high school, and were supportive the most they could. Now, I work in HR and he worked in IT. Since he started to work, he made good money. He saved enough to purchase a house 10 years ago. He was paying the mortgage all by himself. Right? Yeah. 4 years ago, he got the diagnosis. He reduced his working hours to take care of his health, and I stepped in to pay the mortgage. It was a hard battle, but cancer took him back in March. After he passed away, his family appeared in the picture, of course, saying how they regretted not being in his son's life and stuff.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Time went by, and a month ago, they reached out to me, asking me when they can expect I could give them the keys of the mother. Anyway.
Wow.
Seriously?
The goals, man. The goals.
Oh, my God. Oh, already.
Power through.
Okay, we got this. Since same-sex marriage is not legal, they could claim the house as their family. I told them that the house was in my name. I bought it from him a year into the cancer, so it was legally mine, and I had been paying the mortgage and way before it. They got upset. Okay, hold on.
Power through, Ambu. Hold it in.
They got upset and said I was being unreasonable, that it should be legally theirs, and that my BF would have wanted to give them the house? Okay, he says, which is in fact true. My BF talked about how he would give everything to them if that would fix the relationship between them. Actually, he bought the house as a way to bring them to live with him so they would no longer rent. He also tried to make amends with them all this time unsuccessfully. I told them that I would give them the house for the price I bought it from my BF, and they would have to pay me back these 4 years of mortgage plus take the debt over their name. Yes. They said they didn't have the money and that it was so selfish of me to tell them that, knowing what my BF would have wanted. They proposed just to change the debt onto their name and give me no money in return, and I declined. They got mad, and the discussion got heated to the point they told me they would bring me to court accusing me of scamming my BF to have the house. They can't. And they can't. They have been calling and texting me nonstop for the past month, telling me I would be the asshole to my BF if I don't give them the house. I know they can't pay me back all the money I put in the house, but I'm conflicted right now. Some friends told me that I should give them the house and move on. Who are these friends? They're not your friends. Anyway, move on with my life, but it just doesn't feel right to me. I'm leaning more onto not giving them the house, but I know my BF would jump the bed and give it to them. Right now, their words feel empty and as if they would just want to take advantage of the situation. I don't need the house, to be honest, but I don't want to give it to them either. You shouldn't. We never talked with my BF what should I do with the house after his death. So, would I be the asshole if I don't give them the house? The ETA says thank you for all the kind words. I cried a lot with most of the comments. Sorry if I can't keep the pace and reply to everyone. Just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're gonna read a bit more. I'm gonna skip the comments and then we're gonna go into the side post and then the update. Sorry, I know there's some top comments, but to make it easier to keep it more consistent, we'll just read the parts. Um, Edit to August 11, 2024, the next day. This blown up in ways I didn't think about. Thank you for all your kind words. Just to add some info that looks like is needed for some of you, I live in a country in Central America. Maybe let's not go into this part because it's just talking about like where they live, and then saying they lived in his apartment. That's why they didn't need the house. So that's why he doesn't feel right giving it to his parents. And also, a key thing here is all the money went to medical bills, and he didn't want to put the OP's money into paying it, and so that's why he was taking care of the house. And it was around 90K. Let's go to the side note and then the update, so that way we can talk about this because I think Silva and I are ready about to jump into this and
So
whatever.
where's hold on before you go into the update.
Uh huh.
Hold on. Before you go into the update, let's actually dive in a little bit.
Okay, you want to dive into the first part first? Okay.
I know you want to go do it, so go ahead. Release the Kraken,
Um,
sir.
YouTube, forgive me for this language, but fuck the parents. I'm sorry, but like the BF was doing it on the condition that it would fix their relationship with their family. And the family,
Mhm.
the only reason why the family wants this house isn't to honor their son, who they dismissed, who they excommunicated, disowned. They only want it because they're like, oh, we don't want to pay rent.
Excommunicated.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they don't care about what happened to their son. They just want money. That's all it is. It's a money grab. They're like, give me the house. This is ours. We're gonna own this property. But they don't deserve it. I mean, they
No.
didn't. Were they there for him when he was dealing with his medical appointments? Did they take care of him when he was going through the worst of it? Were they there for him when he was trying to get through high school? Were they there for him in all the important parts of his life? No. So fuck them. 100%. They don't deserve the house. And I am with this OP. They're not taking the house. That's my
Yeah,
thing.
no. I mean, the thing is that these people were the stereotype parents that find out that their kid is gay and they kick them out. And I've met a lot of people, young people like this throughout my life, and I've housed a few in the past. Uh, and it's sad because they literally get kicked out 100%, no support, no money, no nothing, sometimes with just the clothing that they have on their backs, and to fend for themselves, and sometimes at a very young age. It's very sad. um so no, yeah, I they don't deserve anything. Honestly, these people are horrible.
Mm,
I can't even call them people. You know, and I understand that the boyfriend wanted to get that house to maybe bring in the family and bring them all together and everything. But that just tells me that he was, or they were, a very sweet human, right? That still
mhm,
somehow wanted to fix things, that still loved their parents. And there's nothing wrong with that. But OP, as their significant other, and also OP's family, who supported him through school and finishing, and then getting his life going, if anything, they're the ones that are more deserving of the house.
mhm.
But even they weren't asking for anything. you
Yeah,
know um it's terrible, man.
yeah,
Why
dude.
are people so evil, man? Why
It
are
just,
humans so terrible?
yeah, it just breaks my
Jesus.
heart. I mean, you can tell, like, with what they're saying about how, like, the BF would have wanted to give them the house as a way to try to fix their relationship. That was, I mean, like, what I'm
Ay, ay,
hearing
ay.
is that basically the boyfriend wanted their family. They wanted that support. They wanted the love. They wanted to feel like they belonged. And, good on OP's family for taking them in and doing what they could.
Yeah, that those are great humans,
Yeah,
honestly. Wow.
but let's be real, that's not the same, right? Like I feel bad in putting it that way, but I don't think like from the BS perspective, I feel like it's not the same. I mean, it would have I imagine they wanted their parents, they wanted their family. What
Sounds
change?
like it.
Like
Yeah.
seriously, to anybody out there who is um like I'm sorry, I'm
Wh-
really mad. It just breaks my heart because
I'll edit it
of so many
anyways.
stories, but like what changes in your kid? For anybody who is disowning their kid because they're gay, they're in the LGBT community, whatever it may be, what changes your kid? Seriously, what they're the same person. They're the same one that you raised. They're the same one that you loved. They're the same one that you brought into this world. Nothing changes about them but what they like. That's it, right? Who they want to be with. Like it just boggles my mind because as a human being, I just would want if I was a parent, right? I would just want my kid to be happy. I would want them to find somebody who loves them for who they are, who makes them feel safe, who makes them feel at home, who makes them feel special. And it doesn't matter who it is. It really doesn't matter what their gender is. They deserve to be happy. And for you to treat your kid like shit because they may be gay or they may be a lesbian, they may be trans, they may be non-binary, whatever they may be, you
Yeah.
are so fucking stupid. You like
I mean, the thing is, here's the thing. I I'm not a parent, right? But I'd like to say that I raised five amazing, beautiful, strong women growing up, because Mexican families were really close, and my nieces and goddaughters basically grew up with me. And since they're very little, who is straight, who is gay, and what they like. Since they're very little, so, but that's me being like, a family member that loved them and cared for them. Uh, so them making a big deal of saying, "Oh, he came out to his family, and they kicked him out," that tells me that they never really loved them. They never
mhm,
really cared about him. They didn't really know their own kid enough to have seen the signs, or have seen or known that human enough to be like, oh, okay, yeah, my kid's gay.
yeah,
A good parent would not need their kid to tell them, hey, mom, dad, I'm gay. They would
yeah,
have, if not, if anything, the answer would have been like, yeah, I know, buddy, like, it's
yeah.
okay.
And it just troubles me because I think of a lot of religious families, right? Like the whole thing of like
Hmm.
choosing to stick with a and to people who are religious, I I apologize if I'm coming at you too strong here.
How dare
Um
you, sir?
but like, if you allow your religious beliefs to make it to where you have to give up someone, kick them out because you can't accept them for who they are,
Hmm.
it concerns me because I feel like religion teaches you to love people as they are and to
True
show
religion,
them
yeah.
love. Yeah, versus you saying my religion is more important than my child and you need to leave because
Yeah.
of what I believe religion is telling me to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And not everybody's like that. I mean, my family is very religious, and we have two gay family members. And we love the fuck out of them. We
Hmm.
accept them just fine. We have no issues. Even my very Catholic mom loves them, you know? But
Hmm.
it's because, again, real religion, like, at least we're Catholic,
Hmm.
and which is also controversial, right? Because it's like, Catholic, you don't like the case, but
Yeah.
in reality, I think that a real Catholic just loves, right? And we
Hmm.
love our two family members so much, and we've always been very supportive because I always knew, like,
Hmm.
again, I took part of their raising, and I was like, yeah, of course, I
Yeah.
know, I know, Mama. Of course, yeah. It's like Uncle this. I was like, I know,
Yeah.
sweetie. You didn't have to tell me. I knew, baby. I
So
know.
like so to those of you who are religious and like are very loving and supportive, thank you. I can't tell you how many lives you've saved by being so accepting and loving and for helping people who need it the most when they're very vulnerable.
Yeah,
They don't know who they can trust. That's a very hard time in their lives. And it shouldn't be that hard, right? Like it shouldn't be that hard
shouldn't.
to be able to be who you are, you know?
Yeah,
Um
no,
so
no, no.
thank you to everybody who is religious and um,
You're
is
welcome.
loving and
You're
accepting.
welcome, Mambo.
Yeah, thank you to
You're
Silver's
welcome.
family. Appreciate it. Um, Sorry, that just
Give us
struck
the
very
update,
close
Ambu.
home.
Give us the
Okay,
update. Give us more
let's go into the
pain.
update. More pain. Oh, I love it. So,
I knew it. I knew
so
it
here
was
we
gonna
go.
come.
So the next part
Huh?
is side post from August 12th, 2024, and it's called "Cancer Sucks." And I can already see why, and I'm already devastated. I opened this as a throwaway just for a single post, but after reading the responses there and talking to my therapist, she advised me that this might help me to vent some stuff. So sorry this doesn't belong here. I met my BF in high school, and after a few months of us hanging out as a group, we got together. We stayed together until his last breath back in March. 15 years of history, ups and downs. But thanks to my parents, we always looked forward to keep together. I have been reliving all our story over and over again for the past months, and you wouldn't believe how draining it is to be on that spot. When he left, I thought I was going to be prepared, but I wasn't. Nothing prepares you to being awoken in the middle of the night by the noise of nurses and doctors running here and there. His calcium levels get really high while he was sleeping, and he suddenly died, and doctors said he might not have felt anything before passing, so I'm really thankful for that. It has been 5 long months and things still feel unreal, but I have to work, so it's not as if I'm stuck in my grief where I can properly live it. I have to move on for me, for him, and for us. I'm planning to take a month or two to do all the things we used to. I'm going to get so drunk one day that I'm going to scream all my pain out. I'm going to hike our favorite volcanoes and see the same sights we used to see together, but alone this time. I'm going to say goodbye the way I should have said since he passed away because I have all these feelings bottling up inside me and I need to bring them out. Is not what he would have wanted nor what I want. Is not forgetting. Is giving a proper farewell because our history was so good that I couldn't even dream of forgetting him. It's impossible and is unwanted for me. Cancer sucks. It's unfair and I hate it to my guts. God. Okay. Janine, I love you.
Whoo!
This is breaking my heart and I want to cry. But I'm gonna hold it
Uh,
back. We're gonna get into the update because we just got to power through it.
one more
I don't want.
update.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep
So
going.
last year, this was April 1st of this
Ah.
year. 27 days. I know, dude. 27 days late. 27 days ago, actually. Last year, I posted a thing here about the would I be the asshole. First of all, thanks to all the people who replied and gave me some support. I really appreciate that. Back when I posted the story, I was in a really bad place and everything was convoluted. I can't tell you how hard it was for me to get to a decision. A lot of people told me to take some time to think about it, but I really want to thank a user by the name of Ms. Savtig J. When I was logging out from Reddit back in the day, I saw the response and it lived rent free in my head for almost a week. That helped me decide to take my time before making a decision regarding their house. So I decided to wait until I felt I was able to think clearly. It took me a few months. It was hard. His parents kept bothering me with calls, fuck you to the parents, and emails about the house. They even hired a lawyer to talk to me about it.
Oh, they
Also,
have
fuck you.
they have money for a fucking lawyer.
Yeah,
All right, keep going.
yeah.
Sorry.
But my own lawyer told them all to fuck off. Thank you to the OP's
For
lawyer, because
fuck's
fuck off.
sakes, man.
They hadn't any leg to stand on if that would have gone to a judge. Yep. Back in January, I finally felt able to make my decision. I told them I was going to sell them the house for the original price my BF bought it. I would still lose some money, but that was the best course of action for me, and that was my last offer. They refused it. Of course they did, telling that I should be a better person and let them get the house for less. Fuck you. They didn't even dare
Better
me to call me his
person.
boyfriend, just a person. Again, fuck you. So I decided to put the house on the market. Back in February, they reached out to me again, asking if my proposal was still on the table. No, it's not. I would have loved to tell them no, but I know my BF wanted them to live there, so I told them yes. But they had to decide within a week. It wasn't necessary. They accepted right away. So I let my lawyer handle the selling. I didn't want to see them anymore. I got surprised when my lawyer handed me a photo book of him as a kid and preteen. Looks like it was their way of trying to acknowledge their son's life is the only thing that I'm grateful for to them. A few weeks ago, my BF's one Jesus, and then they didn't show up. Right, so I can move on with my life without them bothering me no more. Thank you again for the comments and DMs. You guys are awesome. I'm very glad that the BF got their closure, did what they needed to do, did what they thought was right by their BF. But fuck the BF's parents. Fuck them so hard for the fact that they acted like this was rightfully theirs. And you and I both called it. This wasn't about like the BF at all. They would have shown up to us a memorial. They would have done everything that they could to like to honor their life, as you know, if they really wanted to like keep something of their kid, right? I just want to tell them to their face, like, you're vile pieces of shit. You're not human. You are not human. You are just
So
giant
so
piles of shit.
so he sold the so did sell them the house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I hope the house burns
Same.
in while they're all in there. I'm so sorry. This sounds terrible,
Oh my
but I hope
god.
that house burns. I hope that house literally sets on fire and just burns that entire family down. Holy holy shit.
There is a special place in
Wow.
hell for you all. I'm sorry. I know that's horrible to say, but there is a very special
I
place
hope
in hell
so.
for you.
God, I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah. I think it's unanimous
That this
to
is
say,
probably the most cruel yeah, unanimous that you are not the asshole, the family is.
yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say before I jumped on that?
No, you know, I think this is probably the most cruel thing I've ever read in my life. Well, it's in the top 5 for sure of one of the most cruel things I've ever read. And if this is a real, because the thing is with Am I the Asshole stories is we don't know if they're actually real, but I will say this one sounds, sadly, because of the amount of detail that was invested in all of this,
Hmm.
uh, and the time and everything, uh, between updates. I'm going to say this is sadly true, probably.
Yeah.
And wow, man. Holy
Yeah,
smokes. I don't even have any comments, dude. I don't even know what to say
dude.
to this.
And you know, it kills me because the OP tries to give the family the benefit of the doubt with the photo book, but I have no doubt that wasn't their intention. I think they were still trying to erase the son from their lives by giving the OP the photo book. So like that just goes to show you
They probably gave the photo album to him because they saw it and they didn't want it.
exactly. So I agree with you. I hope that that house catches on fire. I hope thunder or lightning causes it to happen, and then there
And
were
that would be
termites
still
that broke the
too
foundation.
nice.
Yeah,
And that
because
still would
God,
be
dude.
too nice, man. I hope, or I just hope that they can't even sleep at night, knowing that how the way that they got this house. I don't know.
Yeah,
That is
they
wild.
and like you said, you made a comment that just blew my mind. They had the money for a lawyer this whole time. This whole time they had money for the lawyer, but they wanted the house for free. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like I just
Jesus Christ, you mean way to fuck us over tonight. Lord have mercy.
oh my god,
Wow. Good
I'm gonna
story,
take
but
note.
at the same
Yeah.
time, I feel so disheartened with humanity right now.
God, dude.
um
Whew. And I usually try to keep myself filtered. I have no filters for this. I have no fucks to give. Fuck them so hard, and I hope their lives are miserable for however long they live. I hope they just they suffer. I that's all I can say. I usually don't wish ill will on people because I feel like it's such a cruel thing to say, but like this has really got me saying you deserve to suffer for what you put the OP and the BF through. Um,
yeah,
goddamn, dude.
this is wild.
Oh.
we're gonna power through on, but we're gonna move on to the next story
Yeah.
because yeah, I need to either feel something else like hate or I don't know. I need to feel something different right now. I need to feel
Yeah, yeah,
something different.
yeah.
Um, so for our next story is am I the asshole for uh breaking up with my girlfriend after she insisted I pay for her sister's student loans?
What?
That is wild, dude. By the way, the OP is not this OP that posted it. Apparently, this poster got it
Mhm.
from another OP. It's all weird. But anyways, quick trigger warnings. If you have issues right now with financial exploitation, of course I would get this story: financial exploitation, verbal abuse, because I
Oh
investigate
god.
financial exploitation.
Hmm.
That's part of my job. Uh, anyways, so I 20 sorry my throat my voice is still cracking from the other
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
um so I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 26 female, for about 2 years. A few months ago I got really lucky on stake and won about $80,000. Hey, good job, man. Not life-changing money, but definitely a nice chunk of change. My girlfriend has been struggling with student loans, about
Mhm.
$35,000, so I decided to help her out and paid them off. Hey, that's pretty cool, man.
Nice. Very nice of you.
She was super grateful at first, crying and thanking me for weeks. Hey, man, that is really cool. Like, you just literally took off a lot from her back, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Fast forward to the last week, her sister, 24 female, is also dealing with student loans, about 42,000 worth.
Oh
My girlfriend
no.
started hinting that since I helped her, I should also help her sister. I laughed it off at first, thinking she was joking. I would be thinking
Mm.
the same thing. And I'm all like, look,
Same.
honey, at least I'm getting BJs from you, but I can't get that from your sister.
Oh my god.
Unless, no, I'm just kidding. But
Oh no.
maybe, I'm just kidding.
No. No.
She she wasn't. She got increasingly pushy about it, saying things like, "You have plenty left, and it's selfish to help me, but not my sister. And family helps family." Oh, okay. So this
What?
dude did this dude just get promoted from boyfriend to what? I don't
Husband
know.
all of a sudden?
Husband, hopefully. I explained that while I care about her family, I'm not responsible for her sister's loans. I already
Bro.
did something generous that most boyfriends wouldn't do. This is true. Uh, and her sister's finances aren't my responsibility. This turned into a massive fight where
Oh
she
my
called
gosh.
me selfish and greedy. She literally
Excuse me?
said, "What's the point of having money if you don't help people with it?" Then she then gave me an ultimatum: either pay her sister's loans or she'd reconsider our relationship. I
God.
broke up with her on the spot. Now she's blowing up my phone saying I overreacted and her family thinks I'm an asshole. So, Reddit,
Bruh.
am I the asshole for refusing to pay for her sister's loans and ending the relationship over this? No,
Bruh.
bro, that's
No.
wild. That is wild, man. Okay, first off, I would have never have paid uh Moose's loans 100%. I would, to begin with. Moose would have not have wanted it to begin with
Yeah.
because she's not like that. I would have probably offered to pay half of it, but not if I got $80,000, dude. I would have probably invested more in like maybe buying our own house, right? Uh, because like 35, 42, that would have taken most of his money. Like, what? I don't know, man. If Moose got like that much money, I would have wanted her to pay off the house or something else, man. Invested in anything
Yeah.
else, literally. Even if I had the debt of $35,000, that's wild, man. Like the galls of this girl. Can't even call her a woman because that's a girl. That's a girl's attitude, man. That's a child's response.
Hmm.
Honestly, uh, No, this is and if the family is her family is genuinely calling him an asshole for this, then that family's also a bunch of children because that is stupid. My guy, good for you. You dodged a massive bullet if this family is this way. And I will say it now, I'll say it as always. Money shows you really how people
Hmm.
really are, man. People,
Yeah,
money will show you their true. Money will show you people's true colors. Seriously.
yeah. Um, so not to get too crazy into like the details here, but if I remember correctly, you get taxed a lot on when you make winnings like that, like at 80K, right?
Yeah,
Like, I think you lose
yeah.
about 50% of what you
If,
get.
if he won 80,000, he probably got close to 50 some, no more than $60,000
Exactly.
back clean. And if he already spent $35,000, he shouldn't have that much left. So I don't know how he was expected to pay 42,000. Again, she's a child. She does not
Yeah.
know
Because
how
like
much money he ended up with.
he gave her most of his own money, dude, that he won to help her with her student loans. And like, I think of it in my perspective is I think he's thinking about the future where it's like, okay, well, if we were super serious together, this helps her to save up money. So like you said, we could get a house together, we could, or get an apartment, we could really like buy things together, we could really build our life together. And then she's like, oh yeah, my sister now is 42K. So my question is, where is it going to stop after that, right? Like, sister's gonna have 42K. Then she's gonna be like, oh, my parents have credit card debt. They have like $15,000. You can afford that, right? My grandparents somehow magically had like $6,000 of debt. Or then like we found out that my great grandfather was on the run from the law and he had like $200,000 of debt or something. It feels like it's
Yeah.
like And then my other question is, if he were to say, "Hey, like my brother has 50K in loans, can you help pay for that?" Because family is family. Um, I don't think she's gonna do the same thing. I hands down think it would have been like, "No, he's not my family. You're my family." So I find it interesting that it's family helps family for her, like to like financially exploiting this guy because she got her student loans paid off.
Yeah.
Um, like, no, you are not the asshole for not paying her sister's loans. You dodged a bullet. Like, kudos to you for not believing in the sunken cost fallacy of like, I've
For
been with her for
reals.
2 years, so I should stay with her just because of all
Yeah.
this time and money I put into it. You may have lost $35,000, but dude, you saved yourself so much more heartbreak in the future. So you did the right thing.
I
You
almost
are
feel like he could probably recover those $35,000 if he maybe disputes the payment, but um I don't know. I feel like he could probably get the money back, but I don't know if he would anyways or
dude,
I
honestly, I would
also
not.
I would say also I have a little bit of a feeling that this is not really a real story, but I don't know. My gut feeling is kind of telling me that maybe this isn't really a real story, but there is
Okay,
an update. So
yeah, let's do it.
a couple of weeks ago, I posted about how I, 28 male, broke up with my girlfriend, 26 female, after she demanded I pay off her sister's $42,000 in loans after already paying off her $35,000 loan. Y'all overwhelming said NTA, not the asshole, and suggested I reverse the payment. Oh shit! Well, I did exactly
Dude.
that. Oh shit! Well, I did exactly that. Called the loan servicer, explained the situation, and was able to get the $35,000 payment reversed.
Oh,
My ex absolutely lost it when she found out, blowing up my phone with 50 plus texts calling me
oh my
every name in the
god.
book. She's telling everyone I stole from her, and her family is threatening legal action. Have at it, bro.
Yeah.
Good luck. Her sister even showed up at my apartment screaming about how I ruined their plans, whatever that means. What? My friends are split.
What?
Half think I was savage, justifiably savage. Uh, Others think I should have walked away without taking the money back. No. But honestly, the fact they immediately started planning how to spend my money on the sister confirms I made the right call. So, am I the asshole for taking back the money that was clearly part of the manipulation scheme? No, man.
Nah, bro.
I'm good for
No.
you, man. I had not read this part yet. So, but being in the being in the financial industry, I know you can sometimes dispute things and you can
Mhm.
maybe get money back. Um, so I'm glad he did that. That is awesome. There's a lot of regulations that allow you to go ahead and dispute certain payments. Obviously, when you do that, you end up back with if there is uh, uh, if there's a balance, you end up back with that balance into that account, right? So, but I'm glad he did it, man, because it wasn't his account anyways. So
Mhm.
good for him. The
Yeah,
wow. Honestly,
yeah,
use your money that you got back to go find yourself a new place and move away from these people as
dude.
far away as
Seriously.
possible. And no, there is no legal thing that they can actually do, because if he did it through the reg that I'm thinking, there's nothing wrong with it. It's his
Mhm.
right as a consumer to go ahead and do that. And there is no legal actions for anything of sort. So, yeah, good on him. Not the asshole, in my opinion. Uh, wow, savage,
Dude.
man. That was awesome. And the
Yeah,
friends that are thinking, okay, also cut off the friends that said he should have left and just let the money go. No, whoever
yeah,
those friends are, they no, they're not really friends, man. Because come on, man.
yeah, dude. Because like I think of it in this perspective. Because like you know how literally just right before we read this, I was like, I would have just like been like, don't get the money back. It's not worth the hassle. But like you, I feel
Yeah.
like you would have been the friends who are like, bro, get the money back and like do it. So like, yeah, that's a real friend right there. For others to say like walk away, I agree with you. Like they're not I mean like they're probably thinking save yourself the stress of like getting dealing with like the stalking and like the harassment, but like honestly deal with it for 35K, you know, get that money back, go find a new place. You could probably find either a new apartment, you could probably put a down payment on a house depending on where you are, and
Yeah.
I mean, to where
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
don't they won't know where your address is. You could get up and leave and they wouldn't even know where you are. Like your whole life you could literally get away.
If he genuinely has $80,000, yeah, half of it could be for literally putting a down payment to a house, starting a new life elsewhere. He's 28. He can literally he had the world is his cloister. He can do whatever he wants right now.
Yeah,
So good on him though. Nice.
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you
Um,
for the palate cleanser.
God,
Please
from
don't let
going
this next story be terrible, for the love of God.
so unanimous, not the asshole. In fact, we
Yeah,
celebrate when
unanimous.
people are savage and they're giving people their
In the
just
right way.
desserts. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, fingers crossed.
God, please.
I've
No more
stopped doing
heartbreak.
the fun extra office stuff after I didn't like the way my boss handled something. Am I the asshole? Here we go.
You've
I
stopped
guess
doing the
background
fun extra office stuff?
probably like going out to dinner and stuff. You know, like the whole grabbing beers with coworkers.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Keep
let's no,
going.
you're good. Let's see what happens. I guess
Oh
background is
God.
important. Sorry it's long. My job performance is exceptional. I meet every necessary mark 100%. Okay, this already screams fake to me just because of the whole 100% of the time. Nobody is perfect at their work to me. No way.
I mean, I'm
Fake.
pretty fucking perfect. Just kidding.
I mean, you're fantastic, bro, at
I
100%.
try.
But like come on now. If you're already telling me you're 100% of like on your job, there's no way. No way.
The way he's
And
starting off, he already sounds like an asshole, but keep going.
yeah. And I've done so for the last 10 years. Maybe an odd month or two in there due to travel and things that would make it impossible. I've also stepped up and carried the sure you have carried the load for coworkers when things have come up to ensure our area isn't dinged for performance issues. Clients get along well with me. I've never had a complaint filed against me. You get the idea. I'm so great. I carry everything.
Okay.
Like
Narcissist alert. Keep
Jesus.
going.
Yeah. I am also known I also am known to do all the holiday coordinating the gifts for office celebrations, baking the desserts, writing formal thank yous from our department, and making holiday baskets to help maintain positive relationships with the other agencies we work with. A couple months back, there was a policy change, and none of us were happy about it. I made the best out of a bad situation and adapted to the change
Oh
immediately because
God.
I'm so awesome. My coworkers did as well, but they all called me to complain and vent. This is normal. We tend to complain amongst ourselves for one good bitch session and then just it is what it is, and continue to work hard and not complain again. Here's where the issue is. While one of my coworkers was venting, my boss was eavesdropping selectively on my side of the conversation, as that's what he could hear. I was commiserating with them, but also pointing out how it wouldn't be that bad. It's in our contracts, how we can make it fun, less obnoxious, etc., etc., etc. We hung up, and I didn't think about it further, especially since neither of us really said anything that you wouldn't expect an employee to say with the kind of change they're wanting. It was pretty damn tame. I didn't think about it again until my boss called me in a few days later to do an employee evaluation in response to it. In every review I've had here, I've always hit it exceeds expectations in nearly every category. He cut me down to meet expectations on everything. He reamed me for my attitude for not cutting my coworker off and letting them vent, telling me I should have told them to call him. He accused me of being negative slash a negative influence and that if he didn't nip it in the bud now, it could fester and create a toxic work environment. I was and still am pretty pissed about it. Coworkers should be allowed to vent to each other without it being treated like this. After
Yeah, of
this,
course.
yeah, I agree. As you may have guessed, I'm just not in the mood to head up everything extra I've been doing to make the office environment fun. I keep my door closed when he's here. I didn't bring dessert for the March birthday lunch. That lunch isn't mandatory, but I didn't want more problems, so I went and just sat quietly the entire time. Now there's another appreciation week slash month for one of the departments we work with, and there's been an email chain about cards and gifts, and I've responded the amount I'll put towards it and asked who I should send it to. People are noticing I'm not picking this stuff up, and that chain has gone in a circle for a few days now, and I'm not budging. I've had one person approach me about it, and I just said I don't have the time to take it on right now. I guess I'm feeling like all the shit I did on the regular to foster a positive work environment got thrown out or was never appreciated because I lent an ear to a coworker and then got viciously reprimanded for it. Like, what's the point if 10 years of going out of my way gets thrown out just like that? Am I the asshole for just quietly stepping out of all the extras due to my feelings and how this was handled? Am I being overly petty? I'm gonna first start off by saying I feel like this is pretty fake to me. Like I know people who do go above and beyond, but this kind of screams to I'm into myself for me. You know?
Yeah, so everything that this person described reminds me of an employee, and they were very narcissistic, and they always painted themselves as the hero, the victim, the
Hmm.
one that does more than everybody. But more often, they were usually the one that instigated a lot of the toxicity and a lot of the discourse. Um, what I think, if this is actually true, what I think this probably actually happened is that the boss probably got complaints or wind of this person causing this sort of discourse in the office, and you know said something, but maybe
Yeah.
not. I don't know, man. I don't know. It could be fake too, like you said. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You know, let's
Should coworkers vent? Yes, I agree with that.
yeah.
But
Well, I'm gonna say this. Let's just assume it's real, right? I agree
okay,
with you. Venting should be allowed, right? I think
yeah,
it's okay to commiserate, especially when you're going through stuff. And I think it's healthy, right? Like
yeah,
sometimes you just need to not have something solved, you just need to complain about it. You need somebody to listen. You need somebody to listen to your word vomit, the word spaghetti you're throwing at the wall and
yeah,
calling it a day. That's fine. And I do think it's okay to be like, okay, well, obviously you are reprimanding me for just being a soundboard, which the boss eavesdropped. And I know that there's this whole thing with corporate and, a typical office jobs where it's like if they hear it, they have to deal with it, depending on how it was being discussed.
yep,
For all we know, there could have been certain words that were used, certain language that made people uncomfortable. There could have been things that were expressed that, well, rightfully being able to vent. It could have been uncomfortable for others. I don't think that the boss marking it as meets expectations was the correct approach. It should have been a soft conversation of like, hey, so you had this conversation with the staff. In the future, can you try to be a little bit more careful with the wording? Try to keep it a little bit toned down because it made other people uncomfortable. I'm okay with you talking, like everybody venting about whatever may be happening, but just be mindful of everybody around you. I think if that would have been the way that this boss would have handled it, then I don't think it would have been an issue. So I think the retaliation, because this is retaliation to me.
This is
Um,
retaliation.
yeah, it that's where I do draw the line, and I don't think this person is an asshole for pulling back because I think it's a valid response to being told, hey, you can't vent, and you're an asshole for me having to eavesdrop on it.
Yeah. Again, if the story is actually real, right? Um, I'm a firm believer that you should allow your staff to vent, to say whatever they want to say within themselves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In a professional manner too. By the way, and everybody shits on the boss, and that's okay. As a boss, you have to realize it's gonna happen because at some point you were down there in the trenches, and you
Hmm.
also shat on your boss. So um and it's also not their responsibility to, because the way that, at least how I understood it, the boss expected this employee to um kind of almost be like the leader, but he's not in a leadership role. He's just like the equivalent of everybody else, right? So
Hmm.
he or she does not have the responsibility to lead the sheep, right, per se. um yeah, not the asshole if the
Yeah,
story is real.
I
If the
agree.
story is real. However, they came off very narcissistic, really self-centered, and
I agree.
pretty stuck up. It left it left a pretty bad taste in the mouth, to be honest with you. But especially how they just described everything, like they're definitely not humble. They're definitely not humble at all. But yeah, not the asshole. That's not really
Yeah,
the question here, right? So yeah.
yeah. So I agree. I think we're in agreement, not the asshole here at all. But definitely reeks of narcissism and ego for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I almost feel like this isn't the real story. Like if it's real, I don't feel like this is the real story. I still don't. It doesn't feel like the story was told the way it actually happened. I feel like they told it
Yeah,
in their own version, and this isn't the real. Like it's a real story, but it's not the real way that the story went, man.
yeah. I agree with you on that.
But yeah.
All right,
Um,
so
you
the
ready for
next
the next
one.
one? Last one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Oh, this one already has trigger warnings. Damn it. Um,
Jeez.
am I the asshole for refusing to let my neighbor use my vintage bathtub for his therapy
What the
sessions?
fuck?
Wow, that's already pretty cringy. Trigger
Okay.
warnings: creepy behavior, possible stalking, harassment. Great. Awesome. Scary and frustrating.
Oh my.
Oh no. Jesus. All right, here we go. Settle up, Bumbu.
I'm settled. I'm
Um
ready.
God, I don't even want to read this, man.
Do you want me to do it? I can do it. Hey, there we go.
Hold on. I think my headset's still connecting. Hang tight.
Okay.
Hang tight. One moment. Oh, my nose. Just waiting on everything to still load in. Sorry.
Yeah, dude, you're good. You're good. I'm just here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Um. Okay. The good thing is this thing keeps recording, so that's awesome. Um. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do editing at some point because I froze up or whatever. But let me go ahead and start from the beginning. Sorry, guys, had some technical issues. It happens.
You're all good, man.
Not
You're
everything
good.
can be
Yeah.
perfect. Sometimes you gotta power through the scuff. So, I, 28 female, live in an old Victorian house I inherited from my grandfather. One of the features of the house is the original clawfoot bathtub from 1920s in the upstairs bathroom. Clawfoot bathtub? What is that? What is a clawfoot
Uh,
bathtub? Oh, okay. I see it.
oh, is it
It's
one
one
of
of
those
those
like ones
big
where it's like a
ceramic and deep, right? Okay.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
And sometimes they're like in copper or like metal as well.
Mm.
Okay.
I was originally going to look at having it removed, but kept putting it off, and eventually fell in love with it. So I kept it. Checks out. It's. I mean, if it's in good shape, it's a nice looking tub. I mean, from what I can see on
Hmm.
the images on Google. Enter my next door neighbor, Dennis, 50-year-old male. Oh, Dennis is eccentric. He's into all these weird health trends, like grounding his feet in buckets of dirt or electrical balance. Lately, he's gotten into hydrotherapy, which apparently requires him to soak in cold water for extended periods to reset his nervous system. 2 weeks ago, Dennis came over and completely out of the blue asked if he could use my bathtub for his hydrotherapy sessions. I thought he was joking, but no, he earnestly explained that my tub was the perfect energy conduit because it was pre-industrial revolution and untainted by modern manufacturing process. Big question marks. I told him, no, obviously. I don't want a random, wrinkly old dude filling it with ice water and doing whatever nonsense he's into. Hey, I agree.
Agreed. Yeah.
Dennis did not take this well. He said I was being selfish with community resources. Okay, dude, that's in his own house, and it's in her own home. Um, and that because I inherited the house rather than buying it, I had a duty to share since I didn't work for it. Okay, boomer. He started bringing it up every time he saw me, passive aggressively saying things like, must be nice to hoard that all to yourself. Then somehow this got out to the neighborhood Facebook group. Wow. Who loves drama? And now half the street thinks I'm a villain for gatekeeping my own bathtub. The cherry on
What?
top is Dennis conveniently claims that his shower stopped working too, so he doesn't even have a place to clean himself. Hey, there's all these other neighbors.
Yeah.
Not like this was a favorite pastime of his to begin with. Respectfully, I was trying to avoid Dennis as much as I could and ignore the few comments from my neighbors until I ran into one of my neighbors while I was going for a walk Saturday evening. I don't really know her, but we chatted briefly and somehow the issue came up. I was expecting some sympathy for the absurdity of this all, but this woman proceeds to tear into me
Excuse
like
me?
literal verbal assault by the end of it, asking me why I was being so stupid and selfish, that I have multiple bathrooms in the house and couldn't even spare it to help this old man's health. This morning, I found a literal gift
Oh,
wrap bar of soap in my mailbox. There was no note or anything, but I assumed this was her insanely petty, passive aggressive way of telling me to shove it. I do not want this man soaking in my bathtub. I do not care about his nervous system reset. But now I feel like I am losing my mind because everyone around me is acting like I am some kind of selfish monster. I get that some people in the neighborhood aren't keen on me living there. living here, but I live by myself, and and work and go to school all day, and I genuinely am starting to worry that I'm gonna come home someday to find Dennis reclining in in my bathtub. Am I the asshole? Also, for anyone wondering how Dennis knew about the tub, he's lived here for forever and helped my granddad to do repairs back in the day. So he's seen the house. That said, he hasn't been in it. The house, not the bathtub, to my knowledge, in the last 15 years.
Thank you for the clarification on it not being the bathtub, but not being in the house. Thank you, OP. Appreciate it so much. My
Wow.
God, dude, what the I
The absurdity in this entire post is wild to me. Um, Honestly, being the person that I am, I would have been like, "Hey, Dennis, I want you to come look at the bathtub. Do you see it now?" And then I would have this like those big hammers. What are they called? Hedge hammers. What are they called? Sledgehammer.
sledgehammers? Yeah.
I beat the crap out of that tub until he saw it break down into pieces right in front of him, and be like, "I guess now nobody gets it, Dennis. I guess nobody gets it now." That's it. That's what I would do. I would tear down after this much harassment. I would destroy that tub. I would, or I would sell it. I would. It depends on the mood, but I might break it in
Dude,
front of
or
Dennis or in front of the
mhm.
neighborhood, and I would have posted on the Facebook group, or I would have just sold it. You know.
Or even be even more petty, find a way to break it in half. Just be like, all right, Dennis, you feel like it's yours, community does? And be like, here, you can take this half, I'll keep the other half. That's perfect. That way I can think of my
Oh, or
dear
you
old
know what? Let
grandma.
me distribute these community resources between everybody, and I'd break it into a
And
piece and put it in everybody's mailbox, a piece of it. There you go, guys. Now y'all can put it back together so you can let Dennis bathe in there.
yeah, seriously. Oh my god. The fact that this lady tore into the OP as if like her house is a community place. I don't I can't bruh. I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know, man. It's gotta be, I don't know. He's either, I mean, it sounds very eerie and weird and creepy, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what this guy's angle is. Like, is it really that he's into health stuff, or he genuinely just wanted to be naked in the house with some young girl, man? Like,
Yeah,
it's weird, dude. And I don't know how an entire community sees this being okay. It's weird.
yeah.
It's really weird. I don't know,
I
man.
agree, dude.
I would sell the property. You know, I
Yeah.
get it that she's going to work and she's going to school, but it might just be healthier for her mental health, and her safety too, because you don't know what kind of weird stuff these individuals will eventually could do, right?
Yeah.
So I would sell the property, uh, if not set it on fire, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, that's crazy. That This is
Jeez,
crazy. Oh,
man.
there is an update though. Thank you all
Yeah.
for the support. I was overwhelmed with over 1,000 Reddit notifications this morning, and literally cried
Jesus.
from relief scrolling through all your comments before I got out of bed. Some helpful details to clarify: the neighborhood situation is a very small, older community that is fairly isolated from the surrounding area. Everyone has all lived here forever, and everyone is very toxic and set in their ways. They're very politically hostile to outsiders, and though I'm not a strong politics person. It became very clear that when I moved in, that I was not one of them. This combined with jealousy of my inheriting the house, and at relatively young age, has painted me as an outsider in their minds. This is the first actual issue I've had, but there have been mild microaggressions. See what I mean? Towards me in the past, nothing serious, just little things to irk me that I've have largely ignored. To the people saying I use M dash too much. Deal with
It's
it.
the
Oh,
lines
okay.
like
They're
right
they're
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're hating on her punctuation. Got it. Also, comments about the age of the tub sound accurate. I'm not a history buff, but this makes sense. And to anyone who was offended by me calling Dennis old, I'm sorry. He's probably late 50s. While that is not super old, it is old compared to me. To make me feel weird about inviting him into my home and practically a stranger. It's true. It's weird. You know, even if he wasn't
Hmm.
50 and he was in his 30s, like it's still weird. To anyone
Yeah.
asking why I didn't take action earlier, I work 20 plus hours per week. That's not a lot, actually, honey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
I
it's
was like,
also the
ooh.
full time student.
And non traditional full time student commuting over an hour to several days a week. Oh, okay, okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
As for moving forward, I don't have the mental and physical capacity to care for a dog in my life right now, especially a big one. And I don't feel comfortable inviting a housemate into my home to live with me. Who would want to bring anyone into this drama? Um, that said, the cameras seem like a really great idea. Yep, yep, yep. That's actually a pretty good idea too. Um,
Hmm.
I just didn't see the need before. I don't have loads of money to spend. But see, that's why she should get. This is why she should sell the house because she doesn't have a lot of money. She's a student. She works part time. I worried about confronting Dennis or escalating things in the Facebook group because I do not want things to get worse or encourage someone to do something stupid. For the time being, I will be actively avoiding him and my neighbors and seeing if anything else happens. I haven't dealt with the police in my town, but have heard that they are not super helpful, so I hesitate to bring this to their attention. I feel like telling them that someone asked to use my bathtub and someone else gave me a bar of soap is not going to. Yeah, it's true. It's going to sound weird. They're not going to do anything about that.
Yeah.
Something that
Yeah.
has really worried me is the comments on the original post about Dennis possibly being a having predatory behavior. While it was clear that he has been gently harassing me. I've never even
Yeah.
considered the fact that being naked in my home or sharing the intimacy of my bathtub may be some sort of weird fetish or kink. That's true. This
Hmm.
may be overreacting, but now that I think about it, all the signs check out. Constant pressure and like seriously, why wouldn't he just like buy his own tub? I feel naive and maybe a major ick. I'm genuinely scared, but he might do if actually has ill intentions. Any further input is welcome. I'm still reading through all your lovely comments, and we'll try to update you all if this escalates further. Yeah, dude. I mean, the
Yeah.
cameras are a good
Yeah.
idea if she's gonna stay, but again, she just said it like she doesn't have the money, dude. She needs to sell this property. I get it that it's like in a way a good situation because she's a student, she's working part-time, she's just trying to do her thing. And this house just belongs to her and she doesn't have to pay anything. But yeah, man, honestly, whatever she can get out of this property and her find something else. Then again, she could be living like in somewhere like New York, where even if whatever money she gets and she tries to find somebody somewhere else, it's probably not going to be as affordable. And if
Yeah.
this is like an old community, it's probably a safer community for her to live in as like a single female, right? Which is probably why she's also dealing with it because she could probably be living again a big city somewhere in New York, somewhere in San Diego, where it could be super dangerous other neighborhoods that she could be living in, right? That's close to her school and work. So that's probably also why she's dealing with this. I don't know, man. I feel for this girl. It sucks. I'm scared for her. I genuinely
Yeah.
am scared for her because nobody is on her side. Nobody. Just Reddit. And like, what is Reddit gonna do? You know?
Yeah. Well, I agree. I think it's very scary to really even think about like the like you pointed out, and then somebody in the comments like it's predatorial if you think about it. Like the way that he keeps pushing for it, and how gross that is to think about that he really it's. Because yeah, he could buy his own tub, his own pre-industrial tub. He could do the research. He could figure out where to buy one. He could have it installed into his house. He probably has the money to do so. He could probably afford it. So for him to like be trying to get into this house definitely is creepy. Because you pointed out the age difference, and it definitely rings true. Especially if he is in his mid 50s, like that is I'm afraid for her, but I agree. I feel like she's in a no-win situation where it's like this is ideal in a sense of maybe she doesn't really pay rent, utilities isn't that much. There's a lot of things that are very cheap for her. That's why she
Yeah.
could work the 20 hours to be a full-time student. But for her safety, it could be better to get a place that is somewhere with the money, because if it's a vintage
Mhm.
home, they sell for a lot of money. People who want to renovate homes would probably pay a fortune for that, even
Or
based off
hell,
of
sell
the
it to Dennis. you know?
fuck yeah, dude, just sell it to Dennis. He'll pay for it. Be like, Dennis, you want the bathtub so bad, take the fucking house with it. Hands down. Um, so yeah, I hope the camera works out. I hope it stops it, but this is also, I think, just a precursor to what she's gonna deal with for the whole entire time that she's there.
It
So like,
genuinely sounds like a horror movie, dude.
yeah,
Like it's a horror
absolutely.
movie in the make or like waiting to happen. I hope this girl is literally okay. Like I'm
Me too.
scared for her. I know school is important. I know work is important. I know that she's trying to do her thing, but I don't know, man. All this has the makings of things going extremely wrong and the community literally hiding it, you know?
Jeez, dude. Yeah,
It man,
yeah,
I hope somebody in her friend group eventually tells her, dude, you need to get out of here. You need to get
yeah.
out
One
of
hundred
here.
percent. I
Yikes.
agree,
All
man.
right. Cool deal. Well,
Well,
no, not the asshole. She's a good
yep.
being. Being in danger. And I hope she is safe forever. Um, but yeah, those are Reddit stories for the night. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I don't know what happened. My computer just decided to just say we're done. Cut.
But you know, in
Yeah.
the comments below, and for those of you on YouTube, please give us a Am I the Asshole story you think you'd want us to read. I mean, we're definitely open to seeing some new ones that you might suggest. Please don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. You know
Yes.
what they are. And we love feedback as well. And please, for the love of God, pay your tabs. I'm sorry. I know life is crazy right now with all the tariffs and everything, but like, we need you to pay your tabs.
Tariffs are
It's
high,
that simple,
guys.
please.
And
Yeah.
ale costs. All right, and
Mhm.
the ninja cats need to be paid, and these tariffs are not helping. So please pay your tabs.
Yeah. So we'll see you later.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, if I can only find the stop button, there it is.